In 1969, Honda introduced a motorcycle that would pave the way for modern motorcycles as we know them today. This is a motorcycle that will fondly be remembered as the first superbike, the Honda CB750. Since its inception in the late 1940s, Honda set out to break stereotypes and produce motorcycles that were accessible and friendly, and less of a luxury item. But as the company started to grow rapidly during the 60s, its focus slowly shifted. Since then, Honda has always been one of the forerunners when it comes to motorcycle engineering and technology. So we've got a 1980 model CB750K here with us, and we've also got the proud owner here, Andre.
Hey, come in.
Hi, Andre.
Sherman.
So can you tell me a little bit about this motorcycle?
Okay, so well, I've owned this for the last 10 years, and 2 years ago I decided to just restore it. Imported parts from all over the place, and got Johnny from Bandra, to restore it from the chassis,
Okay.
And there she is,
Yeah, I think he's done a spectacular job with the bike. The CB750 was a motorcycle that was a testament to the engineering potential of the 60s. It adopted technology used on pre-World War II racing engines and was the first production motorcycle to get a combination of a transverse overhead camshaft, inline 4-cylinder engine with 4 carburetors and 4 exhausts. But wait, the list doesn't end there. It also gets an electric starter, a 12-volt electrical system, a disc brake, and the indispensable feature known as reliability. Lo and behold, this was a layout that would subsequently become the most practical and common layout for modern sports bikes as we know them today. The K series of the CB750 was touring oriented and began production in 1978. By now, it had already adopted 4 valves instead of 2 and was churning out about 67 horsepower. Swing a leg over the saddle and the 231 kg heft of the motorcycle becomes immediately apparent. But thumb that starter and the 4 cylinders rumble to life. The sound at idle is simply a symphony of bassy sound orchestrated by the 4 exhausts. When we discovered that Andre had perfectly restored his 1980 model CB750K, it was impossible to resist the opportunity to experience this motorcycle. And what better way to do it than to be able to compare it to a modern day descendant of this motorcycle. So while this was a brilliant motorcycle for its time, we are here to see how much motorcycling technology has developed since then. And while its direct descendant is the CB650F, that motorcycle doesn't sell in India. So we've got the next best thing here with us, the 2015 CBR 650F. So since we have both the motorcycles here then, should we take them for a small spin?
Sure, why not?
Dropping the CB750K into first gear results in an extremely satisfying, solid feeling clunk with a clutch that doesn't feel heavy at all. But let that clutch out and the torquey nature of this engine lets you simply float ahead without much need for heavy throttle input. In fact, there's so much torque on demand that you rarely need to drop below 5th gear. This is a motorcycle that pulls cleanly from 25 to 30 km per hour in top gear all the way to a 200 km per hour plus top speed. And as the revs climb, the exhaust note transforms from a cheery rumble into a smooth, well-muffled howl. Riding this machine would really make you question its 37 years of existence. It doesn't feel that old or outdated. It's almost vibration-free, still pulls like a bat out of hell and sounds just glorious. In fact, you'd be forgiven if you thought this was just another modern-day retro-styled motorcycle. While riding these motorcycles back to back, it is immediately apparent that anything you do on the CB750K just becomes a ton easier on the CBR 650F. It's definitely the more nimble handler, feels instantly more powerful, the suspension works better, and the brakes work wonderfully. Motorcycles have come a long way since then, and although the exhaust note is quite soft and refined at idle, Whack that throttle open and the 4-cylinder engine puts out a positively delectable scream. This is a motorcycle you can simply go faster on with a lot less effort.
So Andre, now that we've taken both these bikes for a spin, what do you think of them?
Okay, so compared to my bike, after riding this, I felt like the power delivery is much better, much faster. The brakes are excellent, but it's lost its soul and its character. Yeah, the feeling that you used to get when you used to ride these other bikes, yeah, the older bikes.
So what do you think about the styling of these new bikes, you know, with their whole angular and sharp edges and all that?
If you ask me, not my style.
Okay.
So it's quite evident now. Newer motorcycles have lost some of this so-called character and charm. It's hard to put a finger on what character really entails. The most logical explanation we could muster was that older motorcycles needed you to really understand the quirks of the machine before you can extract its full potential. This sort of understanding creates a strong bond between the rider and machine. With the newer motorcycles, that concept still exists, but at a very diluted level. Will future motorcycles be even less so? Well, even if it is so, we can just hope that there are more well-maintained motorcycles like this CB750K around to remind us of what motorcycling actually is.
So there you have it, folks. The legacy of Honda continues. We've just had a chance to sample what the world's first superbike feels like to ride, and we're glad Honda took a step in this direction in the 1960s.